Welcome back to my channel. Thomas Crockett, author of In Search of My Lost Lives. I'm going to tell a story of possession, jealousy, abandonment. It is called Dr. Frankenstein's Creation. The therapist asked me, "When did your trust issues begin?" I didn't look up to retrieve an image. I had practiced the answer all my life. "The moment I came out of the womb," I said. She smiled as if I had said something funny. "You remember?" she said. "Oh yeah," I said. "It was a watershed moment, no pun intended." I told her I heard the nurse tell my mother, "It's a boy. You have another boy. Your third one." That's when my mother said the words Dr. Frankenstein said about his creation. "I don't want him." Oh, sure. The adult in me understands she was drugged, unsteady, not aware of what she was saying, that she already had two boys and wanted a girl. I get that. Just the same, those are not the first words you want to hear entering the world. Once the drugs wore off, once she took a look at me and saw I was not just another boy, but the most beautiful of her three boys, my mother decided to take me home and give me proper love. She, in fact, gave me more than proper love. She gave me that Italian smothering love, filled with cuddles, kisses, clean diapers, and plenty of pasta fagioli. I had by that time forgotten the words in the hospital. All I knew and wanted to know was she wanted me. Her actions showed that she did. I became her little prince. For 2.5 years I sat front and center on the throne of her consciousness, until my sister was born and received the title of queen. A queen requires the full-time attention of a loving servant, of which my mother became, lavishing my sister with the love that I had been accustomed to receiving. The result being that I had been reduced in status to a pawn, one of 3 pawns, along with my brothers, on the chessboard of my mother's heart. Abandoned, I was forced to relive the words in the hospital, resigned to a life of mistrust and jealousy. Yes, jealousy, that green-eyed monster, always eager to settle a score. And settle I did. Whenever my mother took a break as my sister's loving servant, when she needed to wash, bathe, cook, and sleep, at such times my Iago was born, my sister, the unsuspecting Othello. In her crib, I took the bottle from her mouth, poured the milk on her head, made her cry. I used the truck my mother had given me, as if a truck could fill the void of her lost love, and ran the wheels over my sister's tiny arms, hands, and feet, over her chest, saying, "Vroom, vroom, I'm running you over. You're dead." When she began to walk, I struck her with my plastic bat. I tripped her. I picked her up and dropped her. I put her in a closet, closed the door, heard her wail. Ha ha! Such music to my hateful ears. My mother bestowed upon me a new name, Monster. Yes, Monster. If I couldn't be my mother's prince, sitting alone on the consciousness of her throne, I would terrorize. Let her know I didn't appreciate her becoming my Dr. Frankenstein, creating me, only to leave me. I would create havoc time and time again, my target being the object of my mother's affection, my sister, a girl, a measly girl, a horrid girl, a little Eve, allowed to eat the apple of my mother's eye, a betrayer of little Adam, poor Adam, forgotten Adam. Oh, sure, I adapted, as we all must. I did my penance, negotiated peace treaties with my mother, and learned to survive, though no longer the favorite. For a brief time, I became the center of attention, thanks to an illness, pneumonia, that nearly killed me at age 5. My mother sat by my side day and night in the hospital. She cried. She prayed. I recalled my first 2.5 years of life, when it was just her and me. I loved her, and she loved me. Ah, wasn't illness and near death wonderful? I left the hospital and went home believing I was once again safe in the folds of motherly love in my private Eden. But oh, cruel world. 3 weeks later, she again betrayed me, leading me to a worse form of exile than previous. She escorted me to St. Sylvester, our parish school, telling me I would start first grade. Wasn't that wonderful? No, it wasn't. It was horrible. I was only 5 years old, wouldn't turn 6 till the following year. I would be going to school with kids bigger, older, more ready. Children were lined up outside the school like little penguins waddling from side to side. Nuns walked among them. I had never seen nuns before. They appeared eerily similar to the shadowy figures I dreamed about in the hospital during one of my feverish nightmares. There I was being led directly into their den of dark rituals. A nun calling herself Sister Mary Irene introduced herself to my mother. She said she would be my first grade teacher. "Go with the nice nun," my mother said. Nice nun? This was 1959. There was no such thing as a nice nun. I clung to my mother, hiding behind her, saying, "Don't leave me again." The nun wrestled my hand free from my mother's dress. My mother didn't move to protect me. Sister Mary Irene led me to the purgatorial line, where I joined the throng of other abandoned children, forced into a Catholic school system, which in my case lasted 12 years. The therapist stopped me. "I'm afraid time is up," she said. "But I'm just getting started," I said. "I haven't told you about my girlfriends, my ex-wife, how many times I overheard them say to others, 'I don't want him.'" She said, "Save it for next time." "Oh, sure, next time." Even the therapist with whom I had entrusted my confession no longer wanted me. Thus, I continued to live as the creature, the abandoned creation, made to hear till the end of time the words of my Creator.